Outsiders Donald Trump and Ben Carson face off against rising stars Senators Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, both gaining momentum in the polls. With more, I want to bring in Lee Carter, Republican pollster and partner at Mesklansky and Partners. Lee, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. You. How do you assess the field for tomorrow night's debate?
Well, I think it's going to be really exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing how everybody comes out. I think all eyes right now are really on Rubio. I don't think as many people are talking about Cruz. I expect Cruz to have some great one-liners, but I really think Rubio's on the rise. I think Trump is poised and ready to come out again. I think after his performance on Saturday Night Live, I think we're going to see a great night from him. And Carly, she always does well in debates. So hopefully for her campaign, she's going to come out and have another strong night, so we'll start to see her surge again.
Yeah, she's very articulate for sure. Let me ask you about Rubio. What do you think's behind this most recent surge?
You know, I think there's two different Rubios. I think on one hand, he can come across as confident and young and charming, and he can simplify complex ideas, and he talks about what's in it for the people, and he comes off so amazingly strong. On the other hand, there's Rubio, who seems like the student government president who's in a suit that's too big and he's a little bit uncomfortable. And he sort of vacillates between the two. But I think in the last debate, we saw him come out strong from the beginning to the end. And we're starting to see the potential that he can be. He's got to continue to act this way, but I think that's what we're seeing in him. He's coming into his own.
Yeah, that's interesting because, you know, that when he first came out on stage, people were like, look, been there, done that, right, guys? And we had that with the junior Senator Obama, and look what we've got.
And he has Marco has a tremendous amount of experience over President Obama at this point in their careers. Don't forget, Marco was the Speaker of the House. He's been doing a great job as a senator, working very hard. I love what's going to be happening tomorrow night. It's very exciting, and congratulations to you and your team. Good luck, obviously.
Thank
you. People
are
looking, I think, as we've talked about, you to focus on the economic issues. How is it going to affect their pocketbooks and wallets? What are they going to do to make my life easier so I don't have to work my rear end off, and that my kids can actually get out of school without $100,000+ of debt? Those are the things people want to hear about. They don't want to know, did you do this when you were a kid?
Right.
They don't want to know it.
I totally agree.
So,
but Ben Carson's upset about the media scrutiny he's gotten. And I just point to Marco Rubio. He's been dealing with media scrutiny over his personal finances since he ran for the Senate.
Yeah.
He's still struggling somewhat to deal with that. I'm interested to see if other candidates take a shot at Rubio.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Lee, is that appropriate, looking at Marco Rubio's finances and the way he's handled his personal finance as a gauge to how he may handle things running the free world?
I think it's a really dangerous idea for his opponents to go after his personal finances, in part because most Americans have struggled with their personal finances over the last decade. And what he's been able to do is he's turned himself around. In many ways, it's like a mini American dream. So I think it's a really dangerous strategy. But when you're running for president, you know, all bets are off. And so anything is game. Right. And I think that you have to be prepared for it. But I don't think in the long term it's really gonna hurt him.
If you were directing the debate and you were going to meet with all 8 of these candidates beforehand and you had to offer one piece of advice, broad advice to all the candidates, what would it be?
You know, if I were to give a piece of advice to each of the candidates, is everybody says they want to hear specifics, but that's not necessarily what they mean. They do want to know how you're going to make their lives better, but they want to hear a master story. They want to see a narrative about what their lives are going to look like if they're president. And so if you think about it, the last 3 presidents who have been elected president in the general election had positive, optimistic messages, whether it was hope and change in Obama, you know, whether we like it or not, whether it was Reagan, he's going to make America great again, whether it's Clinton building a bridge to the 21st century. They all had a master narrative, and every policy laddered up to it, and they could hit on it over and over and over again, and it helped us visualize it.
Here's what they want.
Totally agree with that.
That's
Here's
great
what they want.
analysis,
They don't want them to go after each other. They want them to focus on Hillary Clinton. I mean, that's what people want.
Exactly.
That's the advice you
Which
give.
is why in the
Stop
last
hammering
debate,
each other and go after Hillary Clinton.
Which is why in the last debate, the audience booed when they felt that they were pitting each candidate against. That's not what the audience wants.
I think you win this debate if you can walk out of there with Lee just said, here is my narrative in 2 or 3 sentences of what I'm going to do if I'm the leader of this country.
That master narrative is the little red car on the road to victory. That's what you have to focus on, and everything has to go back.
And I think Lee's also right that too many specifics get drowned out by the voter. They're really looking for somebody that's got the analysis package that can look at the problems as they come in and deal with them in a way that the voter's confident in.
And that's why Marco's been so good. He gets limited amount of time, but man, he's spot on.
We know some of the narratives. I mean, like, we know Marco Rubio's story, you know, son of a bartender, you know, hotel maid was the mother. I mean, we know some of the narratives, but others are a lot more vague. Whose narrative do we need to understand better, Lee?
I think we really need to understand all of them. Frankly, the only one that anybody can repeat to me when I'm talking to voters out there is Trump's. Make America Great Again. He will hit on it over and over and over again. Carly's starting to talk about possibilities, but she hasn't clearly articulated it. Christie, a straight talker. Bush, fix it. I think what they really need to understand is this. Stephen Colbert said it best once when he said, it's bigger than you and me, it's all about me. And I think what these candidates really need to do is to start articulating a vision that makes me understand what's in it for me if you are president of the United States.
Yeah, that's good. Lee, thank you very much for weighing in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.